guys had in those mountains were just something else. And those Taliban guys, 70-year-old guys that had lived up there all their lives, their lungs were probably twice the size of a normal person. And they could operate up there like they're just out for a little afternoon stroll. So, and those guys really paid a price. And we need to respect them and give them some thanks for what they did for us. I thought I saw a bear. I just jumped. I thought I saw a bear right here, but there's no bears here. I'm just scaring myself. Here's a little plaque. Don Apps, an avid hiker and tireless trail builder of many trails in our local mountains and Seal Bay Park. He will always be remembered by his many friends for his generous contributions to the Comox Valley, 1937 to 2011. And they named this trail after him. Don Apps. Oh, here we are back up at the top. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was, to be honest with you. I must be getting in a little bit better shape than I was, because I tried coming up some of these mountain trails a couple years ago, and I just couldn't do it. Like, I was like, every 10 feet I had to stop, and I literally just walked up that trail, and I stopped once. You saw, we talked for it, and I continued talking. So I'm a little out of breath, but I'm really getting in a lot better shape. So it's unbelievable. This is Tuesday of the third week. This is week 3 of walking or bicycling every, it's 2.5 kilometers around here, I guess. I think, I don't know, we'll see. Am I on the right trail? What did that sign say? Anyway, I better go check to make sure. But I'm feeling, I can't say physically I'm feeling better, I guess it just sort of happens. But spiritually and mentally, I'm like, man, I'm really happy with myself I'm on the Coupland loop, yeah. I'm really happy for pushing myself, even though some days I've had some really bad pain, and man, by 10 o'clock at night, I was twisting and turning. I could hardly stand it in my legs, and I just couldn't figure out a position to sit or lay, or it was just so horrible. But I just continued. And I said, I'm not under anybody's rules. Nobody's yelling and screaming, and so I just do what I want. The other day I started a trail, and I got about 100 feet down the trail, and I said, you know what, I'm too tired, I'm going to stop. And I turned around, and I was glad I did, because that was the night that I was got really sore and really struggled. But in 3 weeks, I haven't measured myself, I haven't weighed myself or nothing, but I've had to cinch my belt 1 notch. Even though I look in the mirror, I don't see any difference. I guess I'm still got that weird shape. I don't know, but I had to tighten my little backpack. I carry a little fanny pack. I had to tighten it a little, just a tiny little bit. So I'm really feeling pretty good. So this is the 3rd week that I've been faithful to it every day. One day I didn't do it because I took a break. And then I said, you know what, instead of completely stopping, because I walk pretty lightly. It's different than if you really run and do that real hardcore exercising. This is just a little walk. And this is the type of exercise that I'm gonna do. So anyways, on the days off, like yesterday, I went for a little bike ride, 10-kilometer bike ride. And it's real easy to do on these trails just like this. And I've been looking and looking, because I've walked these trails, and I know the ones now that are gentle. And I've looked for the ones that people are allowed to walk on and people are allowed to bicycle on, because some of them are only for people to walk. And I found some that are real smooth, real gentle. And so I can get out and still do a little bit of something if I really feel the necessary to do it But I kind of walk just enough Usually about an hour. I guess today will be a little bit longer because we're fooling around on these trails, but usually I try to walk about just an hour. I guess today maybe it'll be an hour and a half. Right now this video is at 38 minutes, so I usually try to stop them at 40 minutes for downloading purposes, but we'll see. This one seems to be going okay, and it'd be nice to have it all in one. So look at these forests. We're back in these forests. And over here is the ocean again. This is Georgia Strait. I believe that's what it's called, Georgia Strait. So it's the body of water between North American continent and this island. And this island is huge. Like, I mean, it would take 12 hours, I think, minimum, like 12 hours to drive from the bottom to the top. So, 12 hours of driving at 70 miles an hour. It's pretty big. It's a long way to go. It's not just like Gilligan's Island. I mean, there's entire cities on here, and I shouldn't say that because I was thinking this. I looked it up one time and I tried to compare it to how big it would be with, say, England or one of the states. So I think it's about the size of like Rhode Island or something, or Maryland. I think they compared it to the size, like the entire size, just this little island of British Columbia. I think it's about a third of the size of just British Columbia. I could be wrong, but I think it's it's third, and it's about the square mileage is about the same as Maryland. So it's a pretty big island. It's got its own ecosystems and its own. Look at these big trees here on this. More of these big groves of trees. They should have a bench right here. I would put a bench right here and just staring off into the solitude of the... Uh-oh, here comes some hikers. This big tree too. Imagine how hard it was for these guys that when they first came through here, all through North America. When you come out into the bush and you see how hard it is to walk. This is a cleared pathway, but if you were in just the bush, man, you walk off into the trail, it's like 10 feet, you're stuck. You really see why everybody used the riverways and the lakes and the waterways for transportation, because as much as these portages where you had to unload everything out of these boats and carry hundreds of pounds of gear and fur pelts over these places, it was a small thing to do compared to humping. I mean, it would be impossible to hump hundreds of pounds of stuff overland. And so when you travel across Canada or North America, you see why that vision that Sir John A. Macdonald had of tying the east to the west, which would have been at that time lower Canada to the west, and surveying it, sending out people like Sir Sanford Fleming, who he was the guy that invented the time zones. He said, this country's so big, and we're telling someone it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's like 3 in the morning out there. Like, it's so far away. And if we have these communications we need to figure out some way of, coordinating our timing and stuff. And so he invented time zones. And being a good British subject, he put the central time in Greenwich. Greenwich Mean Time, if you ever heard that term. But anyways, the building of the railway, the steel ribbon it was called, it tied east to west, and it solidified Canada as a united country. Hello. Can I just look at that sign for a second? Look I saw a bear. Bear is here protecting us. So, I almost went the wrong way. I'm glad I stopped and looked. So, I need to go this way here. No.
Yeah,
oh.
This would be something nice too. Do you want to head to the beach?
I want to take the loop.
So I think you want to go back to the parking lot?
I'm way over here.
So then you'll probably...
I need to go this way, eh? I think.
This will go to the parking lot, but on the other, like there's the two ends.
Right.
It'll be on the far end.
Oh, so it does take you back to the lot. Oh, I haven't been that way. Oh, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we
And
had
this
to
just
go
goes to the ocean, does it? Yeah, just ocean. Okay, I've been there. Okay, I want to go this way. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is... I'm glad I stopped and looked at that sign, because I was like, man, I had no idea where I am here. Walking and babbling. Anyways, yeah, the steel ribbon. United States too. But the United States was a little bit different. They fought with their Indians. They didn't decide to trade with them. They decided they were going to conquer them. And Canada, through the Hudson's Bay Company, said, you know what, let's trade with these guys. That's the difference between why the British colonies are so successful around the world, and all these other countries that they're all abject poverty and just total failures. Where's this here? Oh, fern. I have to look at that. I never have seen that. There's another trail. Anyways, because as much as England ruled their colonies, and they'd send in governors, and they made their colonies kind of self-sufficient. And then England, the motherland, traded with them. Sure, it might be just little baubles, the poor Indians were buying these, these things that sort of, had a little bit of shine to them, and, and they were being taken advantage of every step of the way. But in the end, the people, many people in the United States, when the Revolutionary War came along in like 1775, they said, we don't want anything to do with this. These the Americans today always use, the rebels and the traitors and everything. Well, that's what those people were who were trying to break away from the British Empire. They were rebels and they were traitors. But, history doesn't write it that way. History writes them as patriots, and, and in many cases, they did the right thing. Because the kings and queens over time had been abusing their power and their subjects, and people wanted freedom of religion and freedom, which is what the Constitution of the United States was built on, and Canada as well. Many Americans all through the east coast of Canada, they're called the United Empire Loyalists. And not all, but most were British subjects at the time, and they said, we want to remain under the king. What is this craziness? All you guys fighting, and all you terrorists. And so they moved up to Canada and they rebuilt their lives on farms and stuff, and they said, we're going to go move to Canada and stay under the king. But anyways, Canada's a dominion. Just like it says in the Bible, in Psalms. It talks about the dominion and sea to shining sea. And so the fathers of Canadian Confederation truly were Christians, and they truly did know the Bible, because they had a petition and they sent it to the Queen or King, whatever, I can't remember what King, I guess it was. And they said, we would like to call this country the Dominion of Canada. just like it says in the Bible. So if anyone tells you that Canada is not a Judeo-Christian based country and that the founding fathers had nothing to do with Christianity, they don't know history. Because, you know, all these people can come in from, you know, Arabia or wherever, Saudi Arabia and all these crazy places where they're fighting and killing each other and everything. And they can come here and say, no, we want Sharia law. But I can tell you that the founding fathers of Canada, anyways, America too, but Canada, they were Christians and they knew their Bible. So anyway, oh, look at this. I guess this is a big tree that fell over here. I'm babbling, not even looking at the trees. I'm sort of looking at the trail because I've never been down here before. Not that I'm worried about getting lost, but it doesn't take much to take the wrong turn, and then next thing you know, the other day I took the wrong turn, and all of a sudden I stopped. I couldn't hear the cars, and I'm thinking, that's weird, there's no cars. And I said, that's weird on a Sunday afternoon. I think it was Saturday afternoon. It was like 2 weeks ago, one of the first times I'd come out. And I said, man, that's kind of weird. I don't hear any cars. And then I stopped and I was like, man, I think I'm on the wrong trail. I turned around and I was heading down this 10-kilometer trail that went into the middle of nowhere. I was like, man, it'd be a long walk if you took the wrong way. But compared to the Quebec, especially Quebec, if you've ever been to Quebec City, which is one of the first settlements in North America. Sure, there was some, you know, along the Newfoundland and all that, and the Vikings and everything, but the real like a permanent settlement is, I guess, is the term they use, a permanent settlement. Not just a bunch of guys landing for a couple of days, resupplying and trying to head back to Europe and just barely making it. We're talking permanently established settlements where they would befriend the local Indians and trade with them. And, you know, over time they just treated the Indians horribly. They realized that they had a problem with alcohol, and they just started serving them that rot gut liquor stuff, firewater. The poor guys didn't have a chance. So that's kind of a bad part of history, but the natives weren't all peace-loving, living in tranquility like modern day history tries to promote them. They had tribal warfare, and they slave traded each other and killed each other, and they really had a lot of tribal warfares. But anyways, Quebec City, you know, you go back and there's things 1700 and all these forts, 1750, and then you come out here and the history is all like 100, 200 years after that. There's so many places. This town established in 1879. I'm thinking, man, that's, you know, that's starting to get a little bit old, but man, that's, you know, in my lifetime, I knew people that were alive, right? We're only like the second generation of people here in some of these places, right? There's like, you know, I had relatives that were born in the, you know, 1880s. In 1980, they were 100 years old, and I'd be, you know, 10, 12 years old, 10, 11 years old, or whatever. I had this one great aunt, old Aunt Millie, and they were like, you know, they were 100 years old back in 1976. So this part of North America, anyways, the big gold trust. Oh, here I'm back to the city. So I'm back to this. So I'm almost. This is a really nice walk here. I like this trail. It's really, aside from that down to the ocean, this is a pretty gentle. What is this thing here? Oh, this is the birds. This is all the fauna in this area. So there's this is why it's called Seal Bay Park, because there's sea lions, and then there's seals. There's the bald eagles. You can see them, hear them a lot. What did anything? I didn't really see anything. These guys are around. I've seen them before. But these things, California sea lion. There's river otters. There's those. Seen these river otters before. I've seen those. Lots of guys. They come up. They're friendly, I think. These guys not so much. And then there's killer whales, gray whales, and then of course orca. Oh, there, see orca right there. Lots of those, man. They come around. Harbor seals. There's those. The seal, or at the harbor. Yeah, seen a lot of those around here. Okay, so here we are. So this is a big map here. So here's where I'm parked. I left here, walked all up here, came to here, and then we went down here. There's that Dawn Apps thing there. See the Dawn Apps? Went down here. Oh, I guess the trail, I'd have to come up here, so this isn't what I wanted to do. So then I came here, and this is where I asked those girls. We said, oh, and then here's the loop. And there's that fern, so I could go up here, cross the road, take fern, and come back down here. Oh, I know where this is too. I could do this someday maybe if I parked here. Because I'm parked here. If I parked here, I could loop here, and loop here, and then come down here. That's how many kilometers? Does it say how far that is? Not really. I'll have to look up on another map. See, the Coupland loop is 1.7. And then I did I'm on my last kilometer right now, because I'm right here, and I'm gonna walk right here to the car, which I'm on. So I'm on my last loop. And it's 55 minutes. And I started videoing about 20 minutes in, so an hour and 20. I've been out here for an hour and 20 minutes, and it's just absolutely beautiful here. It's just, man, the weather is just perfect. You just can't, like, the sun is out here now, and it's just so beautiful and warm. The parking lot full, like on a Tuesday afternoon. I guess there's lots of people who work from home and stuff now with this COVID-19 stuff, but I don't know whether it's just me or not, but I know the populations are aging, but there sure are a lot of older people. Like, they're just, everywhere you go, it's all older people. I don't know whether it's just because of out here, or, because of the weather. I know a lot of people come out here and they never want to leave because the weather is in Canada. Oh, this is a bigger. What is this? Horse bike. Oh. Well, I could go on this. I could go on this Coupland loop. I could take my bicycle. It says horse and bike right here. Horse and bike. Orange. See, orange. Is that what that means? Oh, put it orange. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Why is that orange? I think I could take my bike on this loop here. I could come here and ride it would take me about 3 minutes, but there I am here. So anyways, yeah, it's kind of neat. So I'm heading right here. I'm going right here. So I'm 404 meters plus 300. Probably, just shy of a quarter of a mile, just a little over a quarter of a mile, about 1,320 feet is how far I am to the car. Really nice. Seal Bay Regional Park, see that? Like, I'm getting to the point. This is the third week and I'm not even tired, and I'm not even breaking a sweat. Like I mean, I know I didn't really walk that hard today because I was talking and stuff, but I'm like, it's just every day it gets easier. I can feel my legs are a bit better. And if worse comes to worse, if it's raining too hard, I'll just go to Walmart and walk around Walmart or Costco. So here's the trail. Here's where we're back to right where I started. This is where this video started, right here. And I went down this trail, and now I'm heading back down this trail. And so I'm just about back to the car. And listen to the little people playing in the woods. Oh, look at you. Hello. Hello. So this was really dry, bone dry. 3 weeks ago it was bone dry, this creek. Then we got lots of rain, 2 nights of torrential rain. And there's just the odd little pool. So we're in desperate need of rain. Look at this unstable bank it says down there. It's all collapsing. This is going to have to be all. See, they have a fence here to keep people from, because this could all just slide down in any second in any big rain. Oh, here's another huge tree. Look at that tree. This is Miller McGill's 90th birthday bench, placed here with love by family, students, friends, and his wife, Pearl. September 6, 2003. I like the old-fashioned names, eh? Pearl and Mildred and all these old names, eh? Mildred. And I had an Aunt Millie. Mildred, I guess her name was. All these old-fashioned names, eh? Like something like from the Middle Ages, English. These old English middle names there. My grandfather's name was Ellard. Everyone said that was a real Ottawa Valley name. It was like nowhere else. No one had ever heard of it before. It was like, oh, that's only around this area. People called their kids that. And my grandmother's name was Alexina. Real tongue twisters. Never heard of that name either. Alexina and Ellard. Pearl and Merle and Verley and all these old time names. Lagertha and there's a few people out, little children, little snacks for the bears and the cougars. Let your children run free. Yeah, you go check out what that noise is in the bush over there, little Johnny. And Johnny, where are you? Johnny. Oh, looks like the cougars got him. Another snack. A lot of people, none here is really, oh, here comes a jogger. Mr. Jogger, I'll pull over to the trail side here. Let Mr. Jogger go by. Mr. Jogger. Oh, the video's at 1 hour. Go back home, and Frank was doing some weeding. He was pulling weeds out of the lawn earlier when I left. See what he's up to when I get home. See if he's mowed the lawn or not. It's cool at night, so there's lots of dew. So in the morning, when I left around 10 o'clock, the lawn was still soaking wet. So I gotta wait till the evening to cut the lawn these days. But it is perfect temperature right now, man. It just beautiful, beautiful day. Pretty big trees in here too. Look at these big trees, man. Yeah, that Cathedral Grove I was talking about. I could be wrong, but I think that's where they filmed some of Jurassic Park. I know whenever they have these time travel movies and they're like trying to make it look like the guy's gone back into prehistoric time, they always film there. Because it's one of the few places that's, you know, fairly accessible. You know, it's not too far from a major, you know, metropolitan area. And you step out of your car and it's like stepping back, you know, 10,000 years, 6,000 years. I know that everyone wants to tell me that the world's 20 million years old, but maybe the rocks floating around were, but you know, science has proven evolution wrong in so many ways that it just, you have to have more faith to believe in evolution than you do to believe in Jesus. So, you know. Kind of one of the neat things about this trail is it's just slightly downhill. So the last, maybe not this part is a little uphill, but I was thinking that on earlier. I said to myself, I said, you know what's kind of neat? I think on the way home it's slightly downhill. The last stretch is downhill, and I'm thinking that rarely happens. Usually the last stretch it's like, oh no, the last stretch is uphill. And this one turns out to be really nice. Really nice.